Welcome to the Psychology of Men and Masculinity. You already have a long list of things that you need to get done. I know that because I've got a long list too. So does every woman. The question is, can you afford the time it will take to understand men? I think the bigger question is, can you afford not to? Probably not. That's why I've broken this course down into snackable content that you can consume in about 15 minutes a day. How cool is that? Nevertheless, this is a full course about men and boys in general. You will no doubt be thinking about one man in particular, but this course is also about the most important person in that man's life, you. And that's where we'll begin. In Genesis 2:18, God said, "It's not good for the man to be alone." And that's why this course begins and ends with a woman. Because whenever you're talking to a man, suddenly you realize it's really all about the girl. Don't believe that? Well, the first woman gets blamed for the fall of man. She was the one who was deceived. But Adam, he was so enamored with his wife that he ignored God's 3 commandments: to take dominion over the earth, be fruitful and multiply, and to eat anything he wanted except fruit from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Okay, I'm pretty sure Adam was fine with being fruitful and multiplying, but he did forget that God had given him dominion over creation and its creatures. That means he could have told the snake to take a hike. Instead, completely infatuated by his beautiful companion, he mindlessly followed her into disobedience. You remember the story. God created the heavens and the earth and declared that everything was good to a point. Remember, it wasn't good for man to be alone? Yes, he was surrounded by the beauty of creation and he was in charge of all the animals, but he was still alone, without a mate. God took away part of Adam, fashioned Eve, and gave her to him as a companion and partner. They were equal and different, like 2 hands instead of one, right and left. They were designed to work together to fulfill God's purpose for the earth. Nothing could work without Eve. She was beautiful beyond compare, and Adam couldn't resist her. Everything was great until the serpent came along and created the first FOMO experience. He engaged in a conversation with Eve, questioning the goodness of her creator. He convinced Eve that God was holding out on her. She was missing out. We're faced with the same dilemma all the time, aren't we? For us, it's not fruit or the knowledge of good and evil, but a plethora of other things. And we compete with one another to appear to be better than we are and to hide our shortcomings. We even hide the fact that we don't get along that great with our husbands. Or we engage in husband bashing to fit in with everyone else. We worry about our weight, our age, and our appearance in general. We strive to convince others that we have the most loving husband and the best behaved kids, that we have it all together. But there is an easier way. It's simple. No, I'm not saying it's easy. It's actually hard, but it's a whole lot easier than what we've been doing. Plus, what we've been doing? Well, it doesn't work, and that's why you're here. I can already tell by that simple fact that you are a wise woman. You're brave, you're confident, and you are focused on finding goodness in life. Therefore, we begin this course on men and masculinity with a brave look and a new understanding of the beauty of 10, finding true strength in your femininity. As women, we've learned to navigate the world as a human being, but many of us have neglected our identity as female human beings. Instead, culture encourages us to adopt a male response to many of life's challenges, ignoring the fact that we are uniquely equipped to face challenges in our own way. Next, we'll look at the 2 rivers of change. One leads to a pool of stagnation. The other is ever-flowing and life-giving. Finally, we'll learn the truth about men and our effect on them just by showing up. I love this topic. I first taught a course in the psychology of men at Azusa Pacific University. My students were eager to learn. The female students were totally surprised by what they heard. Based on that experience, plus more than 25 years as a clinical psychologist working with men, women, and couples, I'm confident that your beliefs about men will be challenged too. It ain't what you don't know that's the problem. It's what you do know that ain't so. You've heard that saying before. It's often attributed to Will Rogers. You'll want to consider each lesson thoroughly before you move on to the next one. Therefore, lessons are released twice per week. That pace will give you time to take the quiz and complete each exercise, experiment, and/or assignment before you move on. Even at that pace, it'll be a lot of information to process. Some of it will make total sense to you, but part of it is going to raise more questions, like it did with my college students. That's why I will also go live about 3 times each month on Zoom to answer your questions. Don't worry, you won't have to turn on your mic or your camera if you don't want to. Your questions are very personal, and I know how hard it can be to talk about your relationship in front of other women. If you don't want to ask your question live, you can email it to me instead. I already have a list of questions in the queue and will answer them in the order received. However, if you're willing to come on camera during a live session, your question will take priority over those who have submitted their questions via email. The monthly membership includes access to the live sessions only. If you want to watch the replays, you'll need to enroll in the yearly or lifetime membership. Please know that due to the personal nature of this content, sessions will be recorded and edited so that only my responses will be available for replay. As always, if you have any questions, just let me know. Post in the comments below, or you can email me. Better yet, join me for a live Ask Me Anything session. The dates and the links are right here, so you don't have to register in advance. Just jump on whenever you can. I look forward to hearing from you. And remember, I'm here to help.